76. Today we're talking about freedom. Why freedom is the key to both love and prosperity. And it's very simple. And it's essentially encapsulated in the earliest videos I ever made. And I've just been going over the same thing in 25, 30, 40, many different ways. But the point is to say, what's freedom? Why does it matter? Well, hello. Freedom is self-will. Quite simply, self-will. So that means no coercion, okay? No coercion. Nobody's trying to force you into doing anything. That's freedom. How do you obtain freedom? You have to have sovereignty. You have to, okay, so as I said, we go always back to the same basic principles, and it's upstream causality. So if you're interested in the concept of freedom and you think it's a good thing, what is that? Free your mind and your ass will follow. So what we're trying to say is scarcity mind versus Babylon. Scarcity mind is Babylon mind. And it's the opposite of freedom, it's the opposite of prosperity, and it's the opposite of love. And I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to these videos, but you should probably have some grasp on why this is the case, but nonetheless, I'm going to explain it anyway. So let's talk about 76. Everyone knows about 76. That's the spirit of 76 is supposedly the spirit of freedom and revolution. But I'm going to show you something interesting. Okay, so here we have 1776, right? 1776. Can people see that? All right. So 76 by itself summed to 13. Okay, so that's why we have 13 stars in the Great Seal of the U.S. It's 12 tribes of Judah plus the Messiah. I mean, I could go all into that. But you see, these myths and everything, it's math. That's all it is. It's just math. It's trying to show you numbers, okay? And what do I mean by that? So 13. The reason why we have 12 people on a jury is because the Sanhedrin in the Israel Hebrew court, they had 12 elders, right? For one for each of the tribes, you know? That's why we have 12 people on a jury. That's why there's 12 on the clock. I mean, I could go on and on and on. It's all math, okay? But so when you get into numbers, you get into things like squares, primes, you know, cubic numbers. What we're going to talk about here is a hexagonal number. 76 is a hexagonal number. And it represents the closest packing of spheres. It's a very important concept in geometry. But 13 is one of these numbers. And that's why there's 13 colonies in the U.S., 13 stripes on the flag, etc. 13 stars on the original flag, okay? There's so much I could go into there. But let's just think about closest packing of spheres. So if you look at the seal of the U.S. dollar, you see 13 pentagrams of shaping a star of Solomon or whatnot, right? It's a hexagonal star. But anyway, so if you look at 1776, if you take the 1 at the beginning and add it to the end, you get 777, you know? But what's interesting is 1776 is 888 times 2. Okay, so 888 is the number of Christ, the Messiah. Okay, but you got to understand what this is. Okay, it's primarily math. I'm trying to explain this to people. It's not some literal guy, okay? There's not a dude with a white beard, okay? This is a story. It's a hidden message to encode the secrets of geometry. That's what the runes are as well. It's super fucking simple and explains almost everything. Even high-level physics and science is all explaining this. And it comes into numbers, okay? And everyone hates math and numbers, and they all have math anxiety. You know why? Because a bunch of fucking techie programmers run the fucking world. And if you don't know math, you can't figure out any of the shit they're trying to do to you. Hello? That's why everyone's math illiterate, okay? But let's take some basic shit, okay? Multiplication. Why is X the symbol of multiplication, right? We're going to do the same math that we did before. You take lines, you go 1, 2, 3. 3 times 3, right? 1, 2, 3 gives you 9. Everybody used to be taught math in this way, okay? Now we're going to talk about the 9-3, which is the principle. Okay, so 9-3, that was one of Crowley's favorite numbers, and it represents agape and thelema, which represents love and will. So if you have no love, you have no freedom. And if you have no will, you have no freedom. It's that fucking simple, okay? Literally. And this is math. This is mathematical principles of all creation. So let's look at Odin. Odin travels through the 9 worlds. So Odin crosses through each one of those intersections from a vertical point. And when you integrate those two, you get the web of weird, right? So why is it that you can add 3 to the 6 and it doesn't change the thing? This is the key to spherical geometry, okay? And this is the principle of Odin. I wish people knew, because none of what we're happening right now could ever happen if anyone was practicing one fraction of this, because we would have freedom, okay? We would have the 9-3. We would have love and we would have free will, okay? It's that simple. It's just basic math, okay? So what's the Babylon mind? It's the scarcity mind. It's the competition mind. It's the dominance and submission mind. It's the mind that splits everything into win and lose, plus and minus, black and white, up and down, left and right, in and out. It's all, none of those divisions is real, okay? Simple example, okay? We have energy within our body. We can tap into the latent energy field, this web that surrounds us all, this web of life, okay? The human soul and the human spirit is the equivalent of Odin. He's the symbol of the soul. He has 3 powers. He has the power of prophecy. What's that? He's looking through the web, but he can look at it from above, from a higher dimension. He's not in a flat plane. He's in a sphere. So he can see and intersect with all the points of the matrix at once, at will, and he's all integrated with it, okay? The 5th element. I'm trying to explain to people. Okay, but the 5th element is the gateway. That's the woman. That's the fire. That's Frey, right? Here's Odin, boom. There's Frey, boom. Okay, so Odin passes through all the 4 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, boom, and then returns. Okay? This is basic shit. So what does that mean on a practical level in our lives? If we have scarcity mind and Babylon mind, that's the opposite of Christ mind or Buddha mind or Odin mind, okay? Odin mind is omnidirectional. It's interlaced with the thread of reality itself. There's no scarcity anywhere of anything. There's no scarcity of time. There's no scarcity of material resources. There's no scarcity of energy. So why are you working to buy debt instruments, okay? Dollars. Dollars is an instrument of debt. It is not a store of wealth. This is basic fucking economics. They taught me this in high school. But yet our society hasn't changed as a result of, 12-year-olds being taught this shit. Yet, because they have slave mind and scarcity mind, okay? They're in a retarded mentality and they don't understand numbers and fucking words anymore. That's where it's at, because it's Babylon mind. You're being programmed with a scarcity mindset and a slave mindset, okay? Even the wealthiest people in the world are trapped in this mindset too. They think they always have to have exploitation and they get into this weird BDSM kind of mentality. I mean, look at Prince Andrew, look at the Queen, look at these motherfuckers, dude. They're decrepit. If you can't look at these motherfuckers and look at the popes and see that they're fucking evil, they're evil to the surface level. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? They're programmed. They have a spell that's been cast over their mind, okay? Because they can't use letters and words. The spell will win against them every fucking time. They're never going to win the spelling bee because they have no memory. They don't have any comprehension of words and letters. They're using emojis. They're using little happy hearts and stars and fucking stupid ass bullshit. And they don't have the keys to the whole reality, which was given to us by the ancestors of every race on the planet, in our letters and our words. It's the code system for reality. It explains every fucking thing you need to know, okay? And the number one thing it explains is freedom. It explains how numbers and math work. Like I said, free energy. Mathematics, simple mathematics and geometry is the key to limitless free energy and power transmission. Boom! The bolt, okay? This is the Kundalini Shakti, okay? It's got 2 forms. It's got the fire and it's got the lightning. These are the plasmic forms. The woman is the low frequency plasma of the fire and the man is the high frequency plasma of the fucking lightning bolt. Why do you think they give little kids pink and blue if they're a boy or a girl? Hello? Women see more variation and depth in the blue end of the spectrum than men. They're visually different. Their visual cortex and their fucking shit is all different. And men see red as sexy. That's why the woman in the Matrix in the red dress is like the decoy who distracts fucking Neo's attention. You know what I'm saying? This is what you got to understand. It's the power of perception and thought. And it's the good, awesome, perfect aspects of the differences between males and females and why they have to work together to create the fabric of reality. But everyone's taught the opposite. They're taught to be slaves. They're taught to be stupid. They're taught to hate and revile all the basic aspects of creation that makes life renewable, sustainable, and whole. They think they're these eco-fascists, like telling everyone how to throw their garbage away. They're all buying fucking Samsung phones and fucking Mac phones that dump all their toxins in the river. They're fucking stupid, and all their shit is fake, and they don't live their life according to the fucking principles that they claim to espouse. And they have no logical inconsistency of that in their mind. They don't see any contradiction there. And they are so self-righteous, and they think they're saving the world, but they can't even fucking feed themselves. And they're sucking on a fucking radioactive tit from the internet to try and feel joy and connect to other human beings. That's fucking retarded, and it's a slavery Babylon system, and I crush it by will. I declare intent here and now. I use my fucking magic wand of the power of renewable nature. I use my mind. I use my willpower. I use my fucking words. I use my energy. I use my consciousness. I use the focus and power of my intellect and my samadhi of absorption and total non-duality with the source of all creation. I can never be enslaved. I can never be corrupted. I can never be compromised in any way because I'm connected to the fucking fabric of reality from the inside. No one's going to give it to me. No one's going to take it away. I don't need your liberties and your rights because I'm a sovereign fucking being by nature from the inside out. Every cell in my body is a fucking battery. It's a capacitor and a transducer of energy that it pulls limitlessly from the fucking environment. Okay, sunlight feeds my body and it nurtures me and it brings order and structure and strength and power to my body. You know, I don't need to go to fucking Albertsons or some fucking Costco, Target bullshit and eat some fabricated synthetic fucking foods from China with fucking weird chemicals in it and antifreeze in the ice cream and fucking everything, fucking sodium benzoate and potassium benzoate and all these toxic fucking carcinogens. People are paying for them as food and eating them every fucking day. People are drinking phosphoric acid by the fucking gallons and buckets, and it's rotting their body and calcifying their pineal gland and acidifying all their blood and tissues and making them retarded and crippled and slowly dying at a sustainable pace for the pharmaceutical companies so they can extract maximum wealth from you. Okay, this is where society is at. Okay, but you don't see me with the fucking mask on. You don't see me acting like a fucking slave, okay? Because it's not necessary. I have a brain. I have perception. I have clear thinking and faculties of rational discourse. I can engage in a rational dialogue and evaluate information. I don't need Facebook fucking fact checkers and all this bullshit. If you see a fact check on something, that's just guaranteeing that it's true, and it's scaring billionaires like Bill Gates and fucking Mark Zuckerberg. So that's telling you that's the info you want to go find and destroy their fucking system. But you don't even need to bother with that. You just opt out of it because it's not real. It has no sustaining basis other than the energy that you put into it. That's why it's sucking off you and consuming your creativity and vitality into a non-productive pattern that doesn't help anything and doesn't change the world. So instead, why don't you learn the math of reality and how it all works and how to find the source of joy and bliss within. Okay, we're coming back to this bliss concept. We got Venus and Jupiter conjunct as I speak right now. Okay, and we got the new moon, so we're planting a seed. Okay, here's Ingus. This is the seed that's going to grow with the lunar cycle. It represents the combination of the masculine and feminine fire, the earthy fire, hot red plasma and magma of the earth, combined with the lightning bolt blue hummingbird love of this fucking sky. And they're coming together in a sexual bliss that's renewing life and reintegrating the whole fabric of reality back together. They're weaving it together and they're creating life, okay? So what happens from there? Man and woman get down, they fuck, and they love it, and it's great and blissful. And they're both strong, vital, powerful, free people. And they have a surplus of energy. They're not needy. They have a surplus to give. They're radiating with life force and magnetic animal magnetism. These girls, when they walk into a room, you feel it on your skin. Your hair fucking stands on end because they're flowing with vital fucking force. And you know they're just ready to create life. And so then you'd create the seed. You combine your fires together. You go into the sacred bond and the sacred covenant. And you just get like those golden cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant, and you integrate the power and the force for a purpose with intent to create life, to renew the fabric of the life web, not for some products and commodities. And boom, watch what happens. Wealth, generosity, love, kindness, prosperity all around the